Okay, let's look at the second lesson in solving simple equations. Okay, so now we're going to look at some equations where the number next to the variable is not a 1. Okay, so we have a problem here. 2x plus 7 is equal to 21. So first step we learned in the earlier lesson is that we subtract or add both sides by the additive inverse of the number we're trying to get rid of, which is in this case is going to be 7, and that's how we're going to create that 0 to get that x, to start getting that x by itself. Okay, so we know it's going to do negative 7 on both sides. That causes this to be a 0. And then we have 21 minus 7. Okay, and that's going to turn into 14. Okay, so now what? We have 2x equals 14. Well, we know we want to get that x by itself. It doesn't have that plus 7 by it anymore, but we still need to get rid of this 2 here. So what do we do to get rid of that 2? Well, we create that 1 next to the x by dividing both sides of the equation by the number that's next to the x. Okay, because we know if it's a 1 here, then we don't have to write the number, and x will be by itself. That's what we're shooting for. So in this case, we have a 2 here, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. Whatever number is over here on this side, on the left side of the, well, on the number that's next to the x, that's what we're going to divide both sides of the equation by. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2x divided by 2, which equals 14 divided by 2. And you know that any number over itself is equal to 1, which that was our motive. And we have 14 divided by 2 equals 7. All right, so it's very simple. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Okay, we have 3x minus 5 equals 1. Well, first step we do is we get rid of that negative 5 next to this x here by adding it to this additive inverse, which in this case is plus 5, and we do plus 5 on both sides because we have to. This cancels, turns into a 0. Okay, this turns into a 6. Okay, so then we'll have 3x equals 6. And then we divide both sides by the number next to the x, which in this case is 3. Any number over itself will turn into a 1. We don't write the 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, good job. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, so again, simple. What's our additive inverse of 20? Is negative 20. Okay, we have to do negative 20 on one side, negative 20 on the other side. Okay, so now we have 8x is equal to negative 20, and positive 12 will be negative 8, and we divide both sides by 8. That turns into a 1, and that negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. Yes, I slipped that in there on purpose. Good job. Okay, so let's look at another example. We have negative 4h plus 10 is equal to 2. So, like we've been doing, get the additive inverse in order to get rid of this 10, or get this 10 away from the variable. So, negative 10 on both sides of the equal sign. And we have negative 4h, that looks like an N, 4h equals negative 8. and we divide both sides by whatever is next to the variable. So in this case, it's -4. We have to take the sign along with it. -4. And of course, this turns into 1, which is we don't write. H is equal to -8 divided by -4 is +2. H is equal to 2. Good job. Did you get that? Good job. Okay, let's look at this one. Here we just have -6n is equal to 3. Okay, so we divide both sides by whatever the term is next to the variable, which in this case is -6. Okay, that turns into a 1, of course, and it's equal to, and now you have 3 divided by -6, which is, you just have to simplify. That's just a fraction that can be simplified to -1/2. I say simplified, reduce, simplified. Okay, but that's okay. If you end up with a fraction, you end up with a fraction. That's okay. Okay. So now we have -x equal to 30. Now remember, the term next to that x that we don't write now comes into play. The term next to that x now is -1. Okay, and so -1 divided by -1 is still 1. So x is equal to, and 30 divided by -1 is -30. Okay, I wrote on my stuff. Haha. Okay, look at it. Now, you try it. I'll give you a minute. Okay, well, better yet, just pause it. All right. Did you get 12? Okay, let's work it real quick. You got plus 60 on both sides. That gets rid of that. 6y is equal to, what's that, 72? And 6 by both sides by 6. And 72 divided by 6 is indeed 12. Good job. Okay, what about this one here? What'd you get? Go for it. Did you get 1? Ah, that one was a little tricky. Okay, but not that hard. Okay, so -4 on both sides. Okay, cancel. -x is equal to -1 divided by 1 on both sides. So those cancel, turn into 1, so to speak. And so does it on the other side. -1 over itself is equal to 1. Yeah, I threw a little something in there. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, great job, guys. I knew you could do it. Now let's knock out some problems. You're one step closer. Bye-bye.